Hey, hi everyone. This is 𝗲𝗍 and Nainar, an AI expert at 𝗵𝗿3. So today here we are at a podcast. We're going to discuss about the standard and the noise. So we have our CEO and co-founder at 𝗵𝗿3, Mr. Darshan Wakchaure.
Thanks, Ganesh. Thanks for inviting me for this podcast. I hope I will be able to kind of give justice to the topic and enlighten you with some of the industry jargons and industry expectations in the next 4 moments.
All right, starting with the first question. So what do you think how we are moving forward with AI in the enterprise system?
So I would say different geographies have a different way forward to looking at AI. Industry adoption puts another challenge. What we anticipate and maybe from a techie's point of view, and same is this phase as well.
Okay. Where do you see the gap exist right now?
The biggest gap is the hype that we see in the market versus the actual reality. And that's where you see a lot of point of views being given and the proof of concepts being done versus the return of investment. I think that's a wide gap that will still continue. You cannot force each and every CEO, each and every CIO to kind of do a AI enabled enterprise. I mean, it will go through POCs and adjusting towards the different gavettes from a business perspective. At the end of the day, business has to benefit out of this. So I would say that will take some time.
Okay. So literally for every single month or every alternate month, we have a new model coming up. So as an SI, what do you think, how do we should cope up with it? How do we take it as forward?
So very, very good question. I mean, you're also startled the way AI has been moving things and the way models are kind of looking up. Fundamentals will not change. So we always sure that you know what exactly these models are kind of basically going to do in terms of the different ways they are approaching. The efficiencies will change. They will do more and more with less and less. But again, it will be coming at the cost of your tokens. So it's not that it's going to be a complete game changer. Yes, some sections will see a game changing difference. So my recommendation or suggestion would be to keep focused, understand how the parameters work, the areas, how it is being kind of envisaged. And the enhancements, the models, the newer models will have newer features, embeddings will be there, microprocessor embedding will be there. That is only going to help you enhance. It is just like we saying big data. So if I go back to the days of big data, in 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗆 or way back in 2005, we were calling big data. Anything which is like more than a gig size was big data. I mean, now that big data term has become completely irrelevant with that size. The data has grown significantly. And so have the features of different tools which have been used out there.
Right.
So similarly here also it will come. It will all the new models will keep on enhancing themselves. And again, there is a rush in terms of if I'm doing A, the other person, the other model, the other company will say I will do A plus B, and then the A plus C, A plus B plus C. So this fight will happen continuously. There will be no model which will be kind of the perfect model. You will have some specificity. Somebody is doing logistics beautifully, somebody is doing the investment banking beautifully. So again, the models will differ. There will be specificity with respect to the models, but it will be a game changer slowly from a business perspective, and the adaptation will take time.
Completely with you on this point. All right. So the next question is, Claude isn't a chatbot anymore. So would you like to brief about it? What are your thoughts on it?
So I will take that question a little bit in the past.
Okay.
When chatbots came into picture, we were having, those are not really the bots, those were only like chat questions. So there was specific set of questions being asked and specific set of answers being given through those chat windows. And those were like very, very restricted mode. There was no intelligence, there was no kind of mechanism to learn. It was more of a 10 questions, and if there is any question asked within that frame of 10 questions, you will get an answer. I think the recent changes with respect to AI, what we've seen, or the learning which these bots are doing, is fabulous. So the context is retained. The models kind of are getting intelligent and intelligent. So it is not just about ChatGPT or Claude. I think these models will have very specific way of looking at things, and this is going to get better and better. But again, there will be hallucinations. There will be information can sometimes be different. And I was checking. I will tell you one of my live experiences. Uh, if you try to find out, let's take 𝗵𝗍 company, which is founded like 10 years back, and it's a privately built company, and the financials are not on the anywhere on the web, and you try to kind of assimilate or ask a question to any of these models, and they will say it does XYZ number of revenue. That will come with a caveat, so it will not have a guaranteed, but it might seem to it, as you carry this information forward, you might seem that it is the right information. So that perception might be different, but you have to be careful. Unless and until it's a published information and it is published through a relevant source, it should not be taken as is. So things will be that. So again, it is beyond a chatbot. It is more of information assessment. So what we used to do with respect to Google 5 years back, now we are using ChatGPT, using Gemini, using Claude, or whatever it is. So there's so many ways to kind of look at it, and the information, you get a very consolidated information in one place. You don't have to look into 10 different websites. So it is there to stay. The Googles of the world will still have a different place. So you still will go to Google at some point for various other reasons. But yeah, the simple queries can be answered now with these bots basis on the content that they retain inside.
Absolutely. I mean, you exactly mentioned it, what exactly how we are evolving with the agents or the chatbots that we had previously and where we are heading into. And it is quite magnificent that we started out with, as you said, the rule-based engines, those kind of chatbots. And then where we are more progressing into having the prompt engineering, that's when we started more of putting our words, what we need into words, and then getting it in the efficient manner. And then eventually in 2025, we were heading over into something called as context engineering. Again, there was something like we have a bunch of tools. You're giving out the tools with descriptions to the chatbots, and those were helping you out, and it was able to make some decisions and pick up those tools and they get the job done.
Yeah.
And all that while happening, and now into 2026, where we're heading into, I think harness engineering is something very evolving. And what do you think about harness engineering?
So yeah, I mean, things are changing, and then we'll go back a little bit. When I was studying AI, things were different. Things were kind of trying to train a model, saying that this is a picture of a cat, this is a cat. These are different pictures of a dog, so this is a dog. Try to identify animal, try to identify and differentiate animal from a person. I think we have come a long way from that era.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely amazing how things have been changing, and kind of in the last 2 years, specifically the adoption, and the moment ChatGPT came in, it was kind of wow effect for everyone. But the adoption that we saw was across the industry. So those changes, those harnesses will kind of continue evolving on a day-to-day basis. And I will say day-to-day basis because there are a lot of small boutique companies doing a research on their own. So somebody is trying to build a design of a house, a model of a house. Somebody is trying to build a road. Somebody is trying to build how your appliances in future would look like. Somebody is trying to optimize your space consumption. And there are n number of ways. Somebody is trying to do the logistics part of it. So it is not a common place to see everything in one book. I think that's what the previous question was also. So it is overwhelming, but it will help us do things better. And we should evolve and we should adjust that it is going to be a part of our life. It's definitely going to kind of help us down the line.
Absolutely. So as you just rightly mentioned, We talk about the ChatGPTs when it comes to all-round work, and when we have the multi-modal capability of the Gemini models from Google, and then we 𝗵𝗶𝗃 when it comes to we have the legal documentation, finances. Those sectors are overwhelmingly dominated by the 𝗵𝗶𝗃. So from our side, I think, as you mentioned, it is more important that what we need for a solution, picking those out, and then moving on with the solution.
And then also there will, so when you do as an individual, things are different. When you subscribe to a cloud model, when you subscribe to a Gemini model, you're paying like $15-$20 versus the enterprise one. Enterprises will look at it very differently, and the guardrails will have to be there for the enterprises. For the individual subscription, there are no guardrails as such. When you deploy it for an enterprise, you don't want somebody working on a financial report asking your model what is the temperature of New Delhi. I mean, that should not happen, right? It should be contextualized, very specific to the domain. So those changes, I think, will continue. I mean, we are not there, I guess, at the moment, but still a lot of things are being put into place. So it is another set of evolution, I would say, as the software industry goes for. So guardrails would be mandatory. Your fine prints and where it should not hallucinate, that will also have to be pushed in. And maybe there are newer controls that will come into future as well.
Right. So on the similar lines, I mean, in 𝗵𝗃, we are working at a solution called 𝗵𝗃 that exactly does these jobs. It brings you out the guardrails, it brings you out the different evaluation that you need for the modern agentic application. It ensures that you have complete observability. You make sure your audits, it is ready for it. You have the compliances in place. And in a way, complete solution that can apply to any agentic solution. What stands out here is that, as you mentioned, for enterprises, there are some additional requirements, right? So they need it to be like financial institutions might require it on-prem. And those kind of situation is what brought us to build a solution. That solution works on-prem. So you don't have any issues of hosting it on any cloud or such. You can build it on your on-prem, have it in your servers, evaluate your applications, and then time to time improve it. And that's how we can move forward with the enterprise-based solutions.
So again, that's kind of an interesting point. You said 𝗵𝗃. So everybody is building models. Everybody wants to be kind of called as the company building agents. But the governance is very, very important. Without governance, you would not be able to run the models for long. And from an audit and a traceability perspective, it is imminent that you look into these different postures of your models and from time to time see how it is helpful.
Right.
And it should do the job eventually. It should not kind of try to get dragged away, because it's like if you try to train it with bad data, it will kind of give you bad outcomes as well. So it will definitely help. So that's the way I would say. You need something to govern, and we are kind of obviously thinking ahead of time how this governance, how this observability, how this model chunk, how this is actually the performance of the model. It is very, very much required as we look into the future.
Right. At the same time, we were also working on a solution where we have a model agent IDP system. It is specifically for agents. So you know that these days agents have autonomously help with the payment systems, payment gateways. They can make purchases, they can make transactions, and those kind of things. When it comes to audit and compliance, you need it somewhere. That needs to be captured and make sure that right agent gets the access to the right tools. And that's where the agent IDP comes into the picture. So what we're working on is that a solution where, much like users, you go on, you have a SSO or login, and under the hood you have JWB auth tokens and those kind of things. So those are for human to machine transactions, right? So much more than we need something for agent to agent transformations, right? So that's where these systems come into place. They help you to make sure that everything is authorized. Agent gets access to the right tools. It makes the right authorization, that if say a tool it has only read access, then it is only limited to that. And at the same time, if it's some third-party tool or something, that means they can inject some other things, right? So that's when validations and those kind of things also come into the picture. And at the end of the day, for auditing and compliance, you can definitely go back and you can trace back which particular agent executed certain instructions, who authorized it, who gave the permission, and all that at one place.
So human in the loop is absolutely mandatory. So even if we say governance, agentic functions, maybe you'll reduce the time in terms of how application is being coded. But yes, intervention is required. It should not happen. It goes unnoticed, untouched, and unmonitored, and it will start doing something of its own.
Right.
So yeah, obviously, governance models, kind of really vigilance from a human perspective. See, you can try to build a human brain, but you cannot build a human brain. Then that's the eventuality of it. So you have to understand, it is for enhancing our capabilities and then not to make us dumb and lazy. So you do better things, and you keep on humans keep on evolving as species.
Right.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ganeshan. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for giving an insight.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate your time, and we'll continue to do these things more often. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.